I am 20 years old and currently working at Panasonic Energy Global Indonesia. In my opinion, international law is important because it regulates relation between countries and helps maintain peace and order in the international community. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Faik, for that one. That's nice. Next one, Satria Sultan Ghazi. Yes. Okay, so all right, you're on the airport. All right, okay, okay. All right, Sultan. At least you're here. Next one. What's that? I don't have your name here, but why? Is there any problem with your enrollment, Salsabila?
Yes, miss, I have a problem with my enrollment. So may I join this meet, miss?
I will be okay for let you join this meeting, but the thing is the attendance it will be not counted because the attendance or maybe like I cannot click your name. It's the thing. So you can join and also follow the material here, but the thing is I cannot do anything with your attendance. Are you okay with that?
It's okay, miss.
Okay, Salsabila, it's your turn then.
Sorry, for a while, saya baru join, miss, so I don't know what shall I do now.
Okay, it's actually the introduction about you, your name, and also your current activity. Are you working or not working? And also your knowledge so far about international law.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am. My name is Salsabila Zaraptirianto, and I'm currently working now in the developer. And my that's I know the international law is PBB, like a organization, and I'm not really know for international law because I'm not focused for that. So I just know to business for international. This and what else I don't know. Sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's a function of today's class. I just want to know about how far you are and also your knowledge so we could know that we're in the same page. That's the thing, right?
Okay.
So, next one. Okay. Okay. So basically, because Aldi might be the last one.
I did it already.
Already, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're already done with that. It's supposedly like Satria and also Fabi, but I can see that they are not available here to respond that. Okay, nice to meet you, all of you, and also that's a basic thing that I have to know about international law and also how far you are at. I believe that you have introduction to law and also introduction to Indonesian law. Basically, in introduction to law, the lecture should be already delivered. Yeah, that's why some of you already have that kind of big picture of that one. And right now, I'm going to share my screen and also here. Okay. Wait a minute, because I have to like align the online and also offline. So that's the thing that we're facing right now. Can you see my slide, everybody?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Right. Okay, wait a minute. Is that okay? Okay. All right. All right. It's already appeared. Right. So usually in class, I always stand up and also walk around. But here, because we have like almost all of the class members are online, so let me just sit here so people onlinely would be like able to see me. Basically, uh, as I said earlier, not only corporate law that I'm taking before, but also international law. This one is just like not my first time teaching international law, and very true about the basic concept that you already learned about international law itself. So, international law itself, it will be like the set of rules and principles that will be governing and also conduct of sovereign states with each other, as well as with international organizations and individuals. So, here's the thing: there will be different between national law and also international law. In international law, we're not talking about what would happen with that country, what would happen with our local thing or domestically. So the thing is, we're going to go for that abroad and over seas, so it's broader and also wider than national law. In national law, we're only taking care of one country, right? But in international law, it will be two or more countries. And so the thing that you already delivered before, that international law itself, it should be like a set of rules that we're setting up between the parties. The parties and set that it will be the countries, the states, or might be international organizations, or might be other thing like company, multinational company, and other thing like that. So in a basic term, it will be like the relationship between the countries. For example, Indonesia and Malaysia, Indonesia and Japan, Indonesia and Singapore. It's all about country situations. And we're not talking about like, oh yeah, what happened in Indonesia only, but also in other country. And we're talking about that together. We're discussing about that when we want to like agree to one thing, it will be under the treaty. So basically in international law we have several sources of law, but the primer one, just like what we have in Indonesia in our national law and civil legal system, it will be the laws and regulations itself as the primer sources
Belum
of law.
bisa.
But the thing is, in international law, it will be treaties. So treaties itself, just like, oh yeah, we have mutual consent, we have mutual interest. For example, about climate change. Oh yeah, we have the concern about that, and other country also have the concern about that. Then we're going to meet each other and then discussing about that, negotiating about that, and we're making the treaty. And the treaty, that's very true about who's saying that before about Pacta Sunt Servanda. Whenever a treaty itself appear between the parties, then it should be treated as the law. So treaty equal the law. It's Pacta Sunt Servanda for all of the parties that involve. Very true. So not only the international subject itself, it's not only the state or the country, but also the one that you've mentioned before, PBB or the United Nations. It's also international organizations, and we call it as international organizations, as well as individuals also can be the subject of international law itself. Yeah. So next one, why is that important? Why international law is
Hmm? Belum satu
very
aja. Enggak.
armed conflict, climate
Habis
change,
ini aku
trade
mau makan,
disputes,
cuman aku
human
mau
rights
ngotekin.
violations cannot be addressed by domestic
Soalnya aku
law
ternyata
alone. Indonesia,
aku
we
nggak
have human
dihitung di
rights,
sini,
but
absensiku masih belum ada.
we cannot promote human rights only for our domestic law.
Aku mau makan
Why
sendiri
is that so?
dari satu.
Because we need our country
Dari
to also
satu.
respect respecting our country's
Ingat ya.
human rights. So other country cannot just
Yes.
come here to Indonesia and then
Banyak ya.
attacking our human, attacking
Banyak.
our society.
Ya.
So they have to be respecting that. And so
Udah.
to encourage that kind of peaceful thing and also to encourage that kind of human rights, we need other country to also working together with us and saying that yeah, that is very true that human rights is very important, not only for our country but also for other countries, right? So we cannot working on that all alone. Like climate change, it will be the concern that actually faced by all of the countries or almost all of the countries in the world, especially about armed conflict. Yeah, armed conflict, it will be includes in the war situation thing. Yeah, so we cannot say that, oh, you cannot attack our country, but it's only from our country itself. So we need friends to build the relationship between countries and also in international area itself, right? So international law provides common rules that allow states to coordinate actions and resolve dispute peacefully. If I could say that, if you remember about COVID-19, right? COVID-19 itself, it's not only happened in Indonesia, right? It's happening in other countries as well. So almost all of the countries facing that kind of COVID-19. The thing is how to make that might be realistic and also how to find a solution. If we only rely on our country, of course there's no solutions that might be massive. Yeah, so the thing is, because we need to stop everybody that coming from around or outside Indonesia to come here to prevent the COVID-19 and so other country. Because of that, we have to working on that with other country or international organizations. In that matter of COVID-19, because COVID-19 it will be like the part of disease. And the thing is, we're going to working to work the World Health Organization or WHO, or we know that as WHO, right? So there is the tool for us, for all the countries that might be having that kind of similar concern. Together we come to WHO or WHO and saying that here is the situation in our country. So they are like issuing the new regulation in international itself. It means it's the treaty, right? So we're making the meetings together with other countries that having that kind of situation as well, and then we're having a treaty that's saying, oh yeah, these are the regulations for that terms, like in COVID-19. To prevent that, you have to have this kind of vaccine, and also there are several types of vaccine as well. And then they also try to give the solution with the cover like APDB and so on, and then the mask, you have to have the mask. They're having the requirements for type of mask as well. So that's it. The coordination actions by all of the countries, and also they solve disputes peacefully. We have disputes, we have problem here, but the thing is, if we might be walking alone, Indonesia only, it will be not solved. The thing is, we need the technology, we need the people that working and expert on that one, that might be sent by all over the country. So WHO is the answer. That's gonna be the thing, right? So international law is basically that one. We have mutual or we have similar concerns for all of the countries, or maybe almost all of the countries, or several countries, or maybe two countries. We have that one, and then we're saying that, oh yeah, here's the situation in our country, and they're saying that, oh yeah, that's very true in our country, that's also happened, for example. Then we're going to resolve that with a treaty. We're going to have a solution under the treaty between us. And also the treaty itself, it should be like divided into two types. The first one, it will be bilateral treaty. So bilateral treaty itself, it will be only two parties involved, only two countries. It will be there in bilateral treaty. But whenever we're talking about multilateral treaty, it will be involving more than two
Mm.
countries or more than two parties inside, right? And also convention, very true. One of the students
Um,
also mentioned about conventions. So conventions itself, it will be like the treaty, but the parties itself more than two. That will be the thing. Convention, right? So far, so good. Or is there any questions about our introduction for international law? No questions? All right, I'm going to continue that one first.
mm.
International law. So we're not only talking about
Apa? Emang wajib?
public international law as in involving all of this, but we also have this private international law. And we would like to know about the differences between that one. Starting with public international law itself, it should be consist of rules and principles which facilitate the conduct of states and international organizations in their relations with one another, and in some cases with individuals, groups, and transnational companies. Basically, whenever we're talking about public international law, so the public itself, I'm sorry for that one. So the public itself, I'm going to like silent mode this one. Sorry. Okay. So
Enggak.
in public international law itself, there will be like involving
Enggak semua
the whole
toleransi.
country itself, not
Balik-balik
only the
ngambil doang.
society, but also the country. So here's the basic thing that we have to might be, you know,
Aku nggak boleh
understand.
sambil nonton nih.
Whenever, for example, our president coming
Boleh aja kalau.
to the ASEAN or maybe coming to the international meeting, it's not representing himself. So Pak Prabowo is not like I am Prabowo, that's it. It's not like that. But they are there, it should be representing our country, right? Indonesia. So whatever that they're sitting up there and also whatever that they're like staying there, it should be representing Indonesia's interests. And where is that means? For example, your question might be like, where to find the purpose or maybe the goal or maybe the way to represent our country. Of course, it will be under our constitution, right? We have that one. So Pak Prabowo or maybe the Ministry of Menluya, so they have to like representing us through our constitution itself. They're bringing our constitution as our target and also as our goal to international aspect. That's it, right? To protect individual, to protect society, and then to have the proper education and also welfare and everything like that. So we're going to put that as our priority. And also, if you have the hierarchy of law, do you know that hierarchy of law? Not yet? Okay. So basically, in introduction to law, you have to know that hierarchy of law. We have 7 of that, like starting from Constitution, 1945. Okay, you remember that one? Okay, so we're recalling that one. So the thing is, whatever happened in our country, because international law, they will be involving treaty, right? So whenever we are signing treaty under Indonesian, we have several choices on that, and we'll learn about that as well. We have an option, for example, you can only sign the treaty without bringing that to your country, but signing that means you are agree with that. Then the other one, it will be like ratification. If you might be ever heard about ratification, ratification means like you're signing the treaty and then you are adopting the treaty to your country. So that is why we have to pay attention to our hierarchy of law and also our constitution as the foundation of our country, because it cannot be whatever that we're doing outside Indonesia or might be overseas there, it should be the big picture of our constitution, and also it should be prioritizing whatever is already stipulated in our constitution. It cannot be against each other. That's why whenever we're like representing our country, it should be having the concern of that one, the constitution, and also the aim of our country itself, right? So in this one, very true. Not only the country, not only the organization internationally, but also the groups and transnational companies. They also have like the concern and also interest in that one. Sometimes, for example, might be the one that having export import to our country, or maybe like for example transnational companies just like Freeport, just like Apple and so on. They will be having that kind of thing, right, in international way. So next one, public international law, also known as the law nations, is the set of norms aimed at regulating the interaction between the subjects of international law that participate in international relations. Basically, we have this kind of relationship between the countries, not only like the United Nations, that very popular one, but also in the scope of like nearby us, nearby our country, we have that one ASEAN and so on. So usually, we will just like gather, just like in Europe or European countries, they have EU, European Union. So basically, it's up to you whether you want to build the international organizations or not. But the thing is, the countries, it should be like more than two, I believe, to become the organization internationally. And also the concern and also the purpose, it should be similar, all of them, because they're going to bind themselves into treaty, and the treaty itself, it should be the primary sources of law in international itself, right? That will be the thing. And also, okay, so while public international law governs the relationship between the subjects of international law, such as state, so here's the thing: state and state, it can be a relationship in international law, by which we're going to make the treaty or maybe partnerships or other thing like that. And also sometimes we're fighting each other. Basically, whenever we're going to public international law, the very popular issue in public international law, it will be the war, because fighting over territory. It's always like that. It's always fighting over territory. Almost all of the conflict, it will be there. For example, you're saying that, or you have the measurement of your country, from this far to this far is our country. But the thing is, sometimes they also will come, the other country saying that, oh no, this one is ours, for example. So they have like that kind of fighting over territory finally. Not only the land, but also the sea. Yeah, it's very often to see the country fighting over the land, or maybe the sea, or maybe the island. It's like quite often, right? And also, maybe human rights is very popular as well in that one, right? So we have like several subject of international law: states, international organizations, belligerent, and then individual companies, in terms of multinational or transnational companies. And it might be the country, not the country, it's like they are the place or the area that having something unique, and also they're like considered as like the state. For example, Vatican, they're not the country, but yeah, but the thing is, internationally they're recognized by United Nations, by other countries, and so on. So they will be there as well. Yeah. Next one, okay. So So, public international law applies to the subjects of international law, such as states and international organizations. States might be, it is very easy for us to know exactly about the states. We have uh, Japan, Indonesia is a state, right? And also, or maybe the country. We tend to call it as the country as well. And international organizations such as the United Nations, and the United Nations also having the children or like subordinate of that one. For example, UNICEF or maybe UNDP, UNHR. So they have several branches of that one, but the United Nations it will be like the central of that one. And then the other one it will be WHO, WTO. WHO is for the health organization, and then WTO is another thing might be EU, ASEAN, it's just like that one, right? So and also ICCPR, we have a lot, a few of that one actually. Yeah. Oh, ICCPR is actually the product from the UN. Yeah. So public international law is important because it governs the behavior of several subjects of international law, including states. Of course, it is very important for us here because domestically, whenever we have something, for example, our resources, it will be not really not really having the selling point whenever we just like sell that into our local, right? So we have to have the businesses outside Indonesia as well, and also we have to secure our country, so there is no country could attack us as the country or as the state itself. So we have to secure that one, and to secure that we have to be at least make friend with other country, right? And also find out like, do you have any similar issue just like us? And let's just find the solution. Or might be like, do you have any resources that might be could be benefit us? For example, the thing or the goods that might be not really going well here, but we also can send something to them. So just like exchanging the partnerships and also having the interest together and having the solution. Sorry? Oh yeah, that's very true. Alliance together, right? So and also we are having other than that kind of thing. Um, of course, the country also having like might be some products or maybe some countries that want to sell something here, right? So they will get something, and also to fulfill the needs of the public or society. That might be, for example, oh yeah, we're having like good technology in other country, for example, Japan or China. Then we're going to like exchanging our skillful thing and also our resources there. For example, we have like a lot of Yanikal, just like that, the thing that happened in Raja Ampat before, the issue. So we have the power. We have something to control and also we have something to negotiate. Whenever we don't have anything, then we don't have any friends as well. It will be useless to have a lot of resources, but we cannot export that to other people or maybe to other country. And so that's also the part of how we become powerful in international, because people or other country would not doing any random thing to us because we have something that controlling the market as well. That's the thing, yeah.
Siapa sih internet? Sekarang siapa sih?
Okay. So basically, if we have all of the things, of course, we still need the country. Of course, but the thing is, like our exchanging rate of money is not really powerful. You see it? So when it's something there, and also it just like to show that we're also powerful because we have something that you don't have. That's the thing. So there would be like like, okay, I need you. Whenever we have all of the things, but we're not share that, or maybe we don't have any friends, they can be like friends together and fighting over that for us, right? So that's the thing that might be happening in several countries. Therefore, all of the countries also, finding the friends, just like us here. We have to find friends. Then people will just like support you in that kind of matter. You see it? Makes sense, yeah? So that's the thing, whether we have all of the things but we still need friends to protect us, to go with us. For example, might be whenever we're just like standing alone here domestically, it will be like let's just say that the score it will be 7, but whenever with this friend outside Indonesia it will be like 10 or maybe more than 10, right? Okay, thank you so much for the questions, that's nice. Next one. So sorry. Okay. So here are the examples of public international law itself. Basically, we still have a lot of that one, but this one include rules on diplomatic immunity about like the ambassador or embassy that maybe stay in several countries, or maybe our ambassadors going there, or duta besar in Indonesian language. Basically, it will be there, and also they have the immunity power whenever they're like diplomatic itself. And other thing, it will be international treaties. International treaties itself, we have several. We have a lot of treaties that talking about that: ICCPR, ICCESR, and then UDHR. It's declaration. So we have a lot talking about human rights, because that's gonna be like the most popular concern in the world about human rights. Like, you cannot take somebody's life, and then might be you have to at least having the good education, and then also welfare from the country. Whenever you're like the poverty or you cannot afford that, the country should help you, and so on. So at least you have that kind of things, yeah. The primary right, it will be right to life. So whenever you're a citizen, you have to have that kind of right, yeah, powerful right. Then the next one, humanitarian law. In humanitarian law or treaty, we're talking about the war situation, and also armed conflict. Whenever you're fighting over something with other country, it will be humanitarian law. So more about war. And what do you think? Do you think war is prohibited, or any opinion about war? How is it? Is that prohibited? Or maybe it will be like possible actually. Any idea? We still have several people, right? Okay. How about that? War. Do you guys have any idea about war? Is that prohibited? Okay. Afioni?
Yeah, actually, it's prohibited because it is how to say like melanggar the human rights.
Violate the human.
So yeah, the human rights, and it is because the disputes about of the politics probably in or maybe about there are many reasons to initiate the war, but I think because the one of them is because of the dispute of their politics
Thank you.
and
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, you may continue. Do you have anything to say
Mm,
anymore?
no, not no. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I think orang tuh nggak melanggar human rights lagi itu yang tetap di jalan yang diperbolehkan, kayak penggunaan senjata yang di sini sama senjata yang nggak diperbolehkan itu nggak digunakan gitu.
Okay.
Ada yang namanya hukum peperangan kan.
Right. All right. Thank you. Roberto,
Yes,
do you have
Ms. Mira.
something to say?
Yeah, I think war is generally rejected or despised by the people, but war is actually also justified by the principle of just war, where actually there's a difference between military targets and civilian targets. So it is absolutely not allowed to target civilian buildings, target civilians houses, people. So the war is only allowed to target military targets like the troops, the military bases, and everything. So a war is not strictly it's not completely prohibited, but it's strictly limited. It's justified under certain circumstances. That's all.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for the opinion. Ahmad Rifai?
Yes, Miss. Thank you, Miss. Actually, I don't want to explain about the war, but I have a question. Uh, if the interstate bargaining under the international law is premised on suffering, equality, and consent, how can Venezuela's experience be explained, where a materially weaker state appears to be subject to external control through sanction, diplomatic isolation, and recognition politics with minimal legal resistance? Does this not suggest that international law function less as a neutral framework for bargaining and more as a system that operationalize, operationalize, operation, yeah, like that, powers
Personally,
asymmetries, allowing de facto dominance without formal colonialism.
right. Okay. So I felt like attacking right now by Ahmad Rifai's question. Basically, that's the thing. Let me continue with the war first. But to keep that up with your question, Ahmad Rifais, actually, for Venezuela and also the US situation, we need to analyze the situation first. So we cannot just like judge by the media itself. But the thing is, I believe there will be like something or some because I also learned several things from the US as well. I believe they're very dear and also very brave in doing something because they're just like, so powerful. So the thing is, we have to like basically analyze the situation first and then analyze the situation in international or politics itself. Then we can might be talk about that one. I believe that will be perfect for us if we have like analysis of that one. Yeah, if might be, I'll try to take a look into that first to know the exact situation because sometimes we cannot just like knowing that into the media itself because the media we can set up all of the medias, by the way, that's the thing. And also you know the thing is it should be not like that because under the United Nations Charter, it's always like dispute settlement with the countries. It should be using peaceful way and also peaceful method. But whenever one country might be having that kind of situation, like doing something, attacking something, or attacking that kind of state, the United Nations will hold the meeting and also they will be like analyzing that one too. I believe the United Nations as well is just like analyzing that right now, but because the United States itself, the US is not yet doing maybe like something that harm. It's actually harm, but it's not like killing or maybe shooting any weapon and sending the nuclear, just like what happened in several countries. So maybe they're under the process of analysis, but I would try to take a look into that 3-5 for maybe further information of Venezuela because the thing is I just like keep up with that right now, but scrolling all over my media and also the X or Twitter, it is like they're like kidnapping the president of Venezuela, if I'm not mistaken. But we have to take a look into the inside thing itself that might be other media is not quoting that one as well, right? So maybe we can discuss that further when I already analyzed that with law and also with international law itself, not only taking the media, right? And also for the war situation itself, of course, some of you is very true that whenever the war happened, it's not actually prohibited, of course, as long as the situation is, we have the treaty about war, and also we have to take a look into, is there any countries, or are that countries actually signing and also to ratify the treaty itself. Whenever they are ratify and also agree to that treaty about war situation, that kind of treaty saying that, if I'm not mistaken, the treaty, it will be about non-proliferation. So they're saying that if you have the war situation, you have to declare it first. For example, oh yeah, let me just like saying that Apple and also Orange country, because I don't want Indonesia to get the war. So let's just say that Apple saying that, hey Orange, I wanna do the war to you, to your country, for example. So we have to announce that publicly first. Then the other country would know exactly that, oh yeah, we're going to face the war. So they have to be ready and having the equal position. It couldn't be like what happened in our several area or in our several environment, that one country just attacking another country just like that. It cannot be like that. So it should be like in equal situations. They have the weapon already. They have the resources, the human resources, by which is army and so on. They already evacuate their citizens and everything like that. Because if you maybe notice why people keep saying that, oh yeah, I hate this country because this country is keep killing all the citizens. Because that is very true. One of the opinions that coming here before, that the country cannot attack the citizen. They cannot attack that. That is why we have the Ministry of Pertahanan. If you might be notice that we have the Ministry of Defense, and other country also have that one to prepare about that, to know about our weapon, our resources, and so on, and also to know exactly whenever the war is coming, what should we do, because it is might be happen in the future. We never know about that one. So that is why we have that kind of thing, and also to put the strategy how to defending our country, and also how to be more powerful in front of the international area itself. And so also, if I notice that South Korea or Korea Selatan or South Korea, basically they have like this kind of program, or other country also have this kind of program. Whenever like the man already touching mature year, I'm not certain, I'm not sure about the year, but they have to take like one meal, right? Wajib militer. So that kind of thing is also like part of the strategy for one country to defend and also to secure their country itself. That is why we have several things like that, and we still have like selling buying the weapon and also the nuclear itself if we can, but only to keep that, not to attacking someone, but to secure and defending our country. So war situation is actually okay. That is very okay, totally okay in front of international law, as long as you declare the war intention, as long as you let them know that you want to attack them, for example, and also they have the equal or balanced power to other country that wants to conduct the war. That's the thing, yeah. So they're also under humanitarian law, and then other thing. Let me continue my slides and also my material. So basically, other than that, we have also human rights, humanitarian law, and also armed conflict. So other than that, we also have climate change or environment law. In environment law, we're actually protecting our country, air, land, sea. We have that one. And also for all of the criteria or the requirements for the state become the state, it should be under International Court of Justice. So we have that courts in public law. We call it as ICJ. It's for the conflict between the states. It's ICJ, International Court of Justice, or might be between the state and international organization. Other than that, it cannot be involving on that one. For example, for individuals and also company, it cannot be using International Court of Justice. Court of Justice or International Court of Justice only applicable for the state itself, yeah, to have the fight. And they have like a lot of lawyers, a lot of judges, and so on that coming from several countries as well. Next one. So, okay. So, Article 38 of the Statute of International Court of Justice, or ICJ, refers to three sources of international law under the traditional theory of sources. As I mentioned earlier, the very, very primary one and also prioritized as the sources of law in international law, it will be treaty. So treaty itself, it becomes like the code or like the rules and regulations, the laws that we're taking a look whenever something happened between the countries itself. Like, are they the member of this treaty? Are they signing this treaty? If yes, we can use that one as the legal basis, for example. And then uh, other other than that, we have customary international law. Customary international law, it's basically the thing that happened without any written law, not written, but it is like happened from the cases, for example. So it will be customary international law, or maybe from the habits or from the routines that they're doing. And also the other one, general principles of law. It's just like whenever we have the case decision, usually the judges will just like attaching the principle, the general principle, they will be there. Other than that, we also have opinio juris. Opinio juris is coming from the expert or doctrine, just like that one, and been used by the court of justice. Yeah. So here's the thing: international law provides a structured framework for states to define their legal responsibilities in interactions with each other, and also, you know, of course, international law itself, they will be like giving you the structure of that one. And so whenever I see that we have the mutual consent, we have the mutual concern to provide that thing, we have the bridge by which is the international law itself. We have the bridge that connecting us to other country, so we know exactly who's our friend and also who's not. That will be the thing. And also we have the legal responsibilities in interactions with each other as well to other country within their territories and in the treatment of individuals. It covers various areas including human rights, disarmament, crime, refugees, war conduct, the environment, and global trade. Without it, there will be no global disorder and instability. So basically, all of the aspects that I already mentioned before, there will be the thing that becoming the concerns from all of or almost all of the countries in the world. And also the other thing that we have to know exactly that to become the country, maybe we will have this one in our subject of international law material. Basically, to become the countries, we have or state, we have like several requirements. For example, enough population, and then recognized by other country, and then we also have the territory. So talking about territory, it's just like what happened in back era. For example, Ibu, Susi, ya, Ibu Susi, the one that saying that tenggelamkan to the country that fishing our fish in our territory. It's our territory, so it's up to us whenever we want to like shoot someone there, whenever they're like stealing our resources. So So that's also the thing about territory that sometimes or maybe quite often happen.
Tapi kalau kayak gitu bisa misalnya dari negara lain maju kita nih sama si Susi ditembak nih, terus negara lain nggak terima, bisa jadi perang nggak?
Of course, that's why sometimes it becomes the war because they're having like the innocent thing and also they have the alibi. They're saying that no, they don't know it's your territory, for example. But the thing is, we already declared that all over the countries already declare about our territory from where to where. They will be very, very specific and also all over almost all over the countries we are ratifying and also signing UNCLOS, the United Nations Law of the Sea. There will be like the limitations actually. They know exactly about that one. And whenever they already ratified that, and maybe the alibi saying that, oh yeah, this person is never know about that one. It will be the law, whenever the law exists, there will be like the principle about that one. In introduction to law, you have to also learn about that one. Whenever the law exists, it means we are considered all over the people that becoming the subject of that law know about that one. So they have to know about that. And so because of that, we also have that one on clause law of the sea itself that's saying if you might passaging or go through the territory of the country, you have to put the flagship of your vessel or of your boat and so on, so that country know exactly, oh yeah, that is from this country. Let's just call the president, for example, or maybe let's just call their government first to clarify about that one. But the thing is, we cannot just like attack that one time attack, not like that, but there will be like warning. That's why they have like the I don't know, like the megaphone or other thing like that to announce that, hey, I'm warning you, stay away from our territory. After several trials, they are not hearing that one. It's just like, taking something from our territory. That's it. Violation of international law. They're not respecting our territory. They will be the violation, right? So here is in international law, it's not only about the sea, but also the land, but also the upper. It will be the space. We also have the regulation about the space and also the area. That's why whenever we have the plane, like for example, Lion Air, Thai Lion Air, Qatar Airways. So it's always like mentioning what the country, because that would be like the permission kind of just like us whenever we want to like passaging the toll road, right? We have to pay, we have to also put the imani and so on might be up there, they'll put there as well, that kind of thing. So we know exactly like, oh yeah, this plane is going there and so on. So that is why they're having the system that is not causing any crash between the plane, and also whenever the plane is missing, we know exactly what type, what country's plane and everything like that, right? That will be the thing basically. So next one, okay. If we're talking about the range of international law, especially the public international law, expanded to cover a broader range of issues, including human rights, economics, trade, space law, as I mentioned earlier, that we have space law as well, and international organizations beyond traditional concerns of war, peace, and diplomacy. While it is legal framework rather than an ethical one, international law has been significantly shaped by ethical principles, especially in the area of human rights. So, yeah, we have that kind of custom, and also we have that kind of principles of human rights. A lot of human rights issues arise whenever we're talking about international law itself. Yeah. So far so good, or okay, we still have several time, actually 20 minutes. So I would like to might be us, because we're just here in the private international law. I'm going to give you the big picture of private international law just for a few minutes. That maybe we'll save that for next week as well. So here's the thing in private international law. It's just like when we have criminal and also private. But the thing is, this one is broader because we're putting the territorial thing and then respecting other country and so on in public itself. But here, private international law, of course, the one that very touch on that, it will be trade and also multinational companies and everything like that. So, private international law, also known as the conflict of laws, deals with private legal relationships. Private legal relationships is not really
Tidak.
I am the representative of Indonesia, for example. Not like that. You're not appointed by Indonesia to help the business, but the thing is, you have the business and you expand that to other country. That's it. Private international law. Yeah. So you have to pay attention with the difference itself. So this private international law determines which national law applies, which court has jurisdiction, and whether foreign judgments are recognized. Basically, we are coming from one country and doing business to other country, or we married to other foreigner on that country. Which law that will be applicable? That's it. Private international law, right? It's coming to private individual and also maybe private company, but the thing is it will be involving foreign element. Okay, that will be private international law. Right, I think that will be the material for today. Let me go back to some of you that might be Theo, do you have any questions, or it's just like forgot to? Okay, I think she just forgot about that one. So let me ask here, who's the captain class or the chairman of the class?
Me, Miss.
Okay. So how do I call you? Is Rifai? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, Rifai. I want you to set up the group itself because sometimes we also have to participate in group itself. Since the university is just like supporting, also encouraging the participation of the students as well. So it's not only the lecturer that talking here in the class and also find out everything and fit you. So I have a favor, might be Rifai. I'm not going to choose the group for you. You have to choose that by your own. Is that okay? Like moment. And might be if I can classify the group into one group will be consist of four will be perfect for me, or five. Five, yeah, five will be better for us. Five in one group, and then for this one, there will be a discussion a little bit, and maybe next week you better to have any explanation of that one. I'm not going to ask you to, whenever we have this kind of participation and also assignment, don't make it too complicated because it's just like our discussion thing. And of course, there will be a score behind that because we have the element of that one, the participation also assignment. So you have to keep going on with that. And I want you to let me just stop sharing my screen, and I'll be giving you this. Okay, wait a minute for the discussion part itself. Okay, so basically, I want you to. Here's the thing. Right. So because I'm not going to talk about the history here, since we have everything to going on. So we're going to the basic concept, and then I would like to ask all of you to also have this kind of discussion about historical development of international law that happened. Don't put several or don't put all of the explanations in your slide. I just need you to make us understand about that, and also to you to understand about that as well. So basically, it will be about historical development of international law. How come international is actually become international law right now? I want you to discuss about that with your friends, and also if you might be possible to have the PowerPoint next week for that matter, so we can keep going on with others while we also cover that history of international law. Is that okay? So, for example, we have like the journey from World War I, World War II, and so on, and also what kind of principle that might be okay. Just leave it with the principle, but I only want you to talk about historical development aja. So historical development of international law. How come international law become international law and recognized by all of the countries, right? It's just like how come it will be like that, right? So far so good, or is there any questions? No questions? Okay.
Yes, clear.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry if I
Miss,
might
sorry, Miss.
okay,
I
right?
so jadi kelompoknya 3 aja ya, Miss ya?
Four groups. There will be like because we have 19, right? There will be one group that consists of 4 members, but 3 of
Okay,
the
okay.
groups consist of 5 members. Okay. Agunawan, do you have any question? Yes.
Yes, Miss. Good evening. Sorry, Miss. I'm just late because I was outside earlier and my battery died while I was out. I just got home right now and I just charged
Okay.
my phone. Ya, and maybe saya telat perkenalan atau sesuatu gitu, Miss.
Yes, of course. We already done with the introduction. If you may, please introduce yourself and also your current activity and also international law. I'm not sure whether you cover and also keeping up with this material, but don't worry too much because I will give the material as well to all of you. But it will be like before midterm, yeah?
Okay, Miss. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. Hello everyone. Good evening, Miss Ferawati. Nice to meet you. And let me introduce myself. My name is Ragunawan. I'm also student at President University, major law, and I'm batch 2025. Right now, I'm have 2 jobs. Those work, those who work full time at the printing company, and those who work part time at the hostel as a front office. Yeah, just like that, Miss. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Sorry
That's
for lateness,
nice.
Miss.
All right. Okay. So basically, usually in my class, there will be like the lateness time. It should be 15 minutes, but I'm not sure for evening class or for professional class it will be possible or not because you're working and also you have sometimes you have the shift kind of thing, right? So just let me know whenever you're like, or maybe just let Revise know about that one. So if I can pass the information to me as well. So I'll be like not absent your name. That will be the thing. Okay. And also here's the thing in my class. I'm sorry for not going with the rules and regulation in my class at the first time. So the thing is whenever you have the assignment or maybe you have the presentation, you have the discussion with your friends, whenever you're like having that, please don't forget to put the references or the sources of that. And for the sources and also the references, I am not allowing all of the students to put the first one Wikipedia as the sources, second one Blogspot, third one WordPress. So there will be no and never in my class. And also the news, it will be possible, but for Tribun News, I'm not going to take that. And also by chumi.com, of course not. So the thing is, it should be reliable. For example, Compass, The Tick, and also New York Times, Straits Times, Harvard Business, MIT Sloan, or maybe Jakarta Post. Yeah, basically books. Books it will be recommended, and also journal. That will be the very reliable, yeah, because people doing the research. Whenever you're taking that only from blog, it just might be someone that
Yes.
using that. Of course, GPT. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm the also the user of
I,
GPT. I like the GPT, but the thing is, whenever you're just like asking GPT and taking that, of course, I don't want to recognize that one. But whenever you're using GPT to ask GPT, like, is this true? Is this accurate? For example, I will be like, okay. Or maybe like you're asking the first question to GPT and then find out that from the primary sources, that will be fine. But GPT, it's not the primary sources. You cannot use that as the sources, right? But as the tool that helping you, of course, I will be okay with that one, right? Is there any questions? Salsabila?
yes, Miss, my apology. But now I have the problem with my enrollment, but I'm still are ready to enrollment, and I have the communication with academic advisor, and still ongoing. And but now my I still participation with the group.
Oh yeah, of course, you can do that. But the thing is, I'm not sure about your attendance. That might be not counted. But yeah, because the system, there is no name of you right now. So it will be not, when I submit the attendance, it will be not involved in the attendance. It means it will be considered as absent, right?
Yes.
Because of that enrollment.
Okay. It's okay about the absency, but may I practice participation, right? Okay. Thank you, Miss.
That's fine. To participate in my class, all fine.
Okay. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you. So might be that's it for today. I'm going to open the attendance for today's class. Yeah. Let me see for the attendance. If you do have any questions, sometime you also can just like email me. Might be you know exactly my email, right? And also the contact. That might be whenever you have the question. Yeah.
Dari PO kita berapa?
2015. Wait, is that answering? Okay. Yeah, people also keep asking me about that batch, age, and so. So it's just like usual thing for me. So wait a minute, I'm going to open that one first for us. It's international one. So after midterm, it will be with Ma'am Wiwin, yeah. So no more Miss Farah after midterm, okay? So I'll be also passing this information to Ma'am Wiwin, yeah. Okay, everybody, you may scan the barcode, might be. Can you see that? Oh yeah, wait, yeah. I think it's a signal or I already. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, this one. Okay, can everybody see the barcode?
Not yet, Miss.
All right. Already?
Not yet, Miss. There's no barcode.
Yeah. Okay. Be patient. I'm asking the people here. Okay, it's already appear, right?
Is it in maintenance mode right now? Because I cannot feel the presence.
Sorry?
We can do
It
the Miss. We can do that.
wait.
Because the
I can
the
feel the
website
presence.
is
What's that? Do you know the constraint? So you cannot do that, like scanning
Use
the
the pin.
barcode.
We can scan the barcode, but we can fill with the pin number.
Yeah, we can use the pin instead, the 4 digits.
Okay. Then, if that's the case, let me just call each of you. Okay, so it's weird. You already done with that, right? You guys, okay?
No, miss, we mean the pin number works actually. The pin number works.
Yes.
We can use the pin number.
Number works.
Oh, you can use the pin number. So is that? Do you want to see that again or what? Sorry. Usually for morning class, I always use the barcode, but I'm not sure. But okay.
We also use
All right. So
but sometimes we also use the pin number. It is according the titular actually. They can use the barcode or pin number. It depends of the.
oh, for me, I just like showing all of that. You choose that one. But the thing is, it's already here, and I might be call to clarify. In my class, I always clarify. Yes. So in my class, I always clarify the attendance right after you scan or maybe you put the PIN number. So we will have any mistake and also misunderstanding. And please, in the future, if you want to complain about your attendance, it will be a week, yeah, for the deadline for complaining about that one. Because I always have this kind of clarification. And after a week, the submission it will be closed, right? So I don't have any power to change the system. That's why. Okay? So be careful with that one. When I call your name at the end of the class, please pay attention to that. Right now, I have like Adnan Mulya. Do we have Adnan? Because here is still absent. Okay.
I already.
Okay. All right. Al Hilal?
Present, Miss.
Present. Okay. Fabi?
Lady Miss.
Okay, Fabi is here. Florentinus?
Yes, Miss. Present, Miss.
Okay. And then Rini Pusposari?
Present, Miss.
Siti Nur Afifah? How about Siti? Siti Nur Afifah is not here? Okay. All right, then we just submitted. All right, everybody. So the time is already done, and also don't forget about your discussion with your friend and also your partner. And Rifai, please send me the member of all of the groups because I have to put the scoring board. See you next week. Have a nice day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Farah.